Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast to guide you home into your human journey here on Earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard, and it is my delight to co-create with Gaia and share our messages from Source in this now moment. Here we go. Episode 407. It is Friday here in Cincinnati. It's a little chilly, kind of gray and dreary, but we have had a beautiful week of sunshine. So we are just moving through the phases of fall. I have so much I want to share today. I am coming to you after last week where I talked about breaking the pattern. And so much of my schedule over the last couple of weeks has been completely not what it usually is. I've been just busier and just trying different things and having so much fun with it. Some work well, others I'm like, that was too much. It was just too much in a couple of days. But it's been so fun to kind of throw some things up in the air and then see how they landed. Today, I am so excited to share this whole idea that's come through, and it's been very quick. Just all of these little nuggets have been weaving their way into this beautiful, like I don't even know, reunion, this beautiful reunion that I am feeling arriving. This is like the best part of being an Aquarius. I can sense like, oh, this is the thing that is just going to light up the path or light up the grid here on Gaia, and I can feel all the potential of it. And then the struggle of the Aquarius is to be right here in this moment and explain it and try to structure it and define it, put it all into place. So I'm sitting in this, like, I just want to go do and like be in that energy. And also here we are, and there's quite a few steps that need to happen for this to arrive and to be co-created in the way that I am feeling it could be. So what I'm going to do today is attempt to describe the path that has brought me to this moment where I can sit in the seat and tell you, like, here's what I am feeling. So the title for today is Co-Creating the Reunion, not a reunion, the reunion. And the specific reunion I'm talking about is of the Gaia tribe. The Gaia tribe would be all souls who are playing with time and space and the density of matter here in this planet that we call Gaia, which means everyone. So this feeling I have of where we're going sounds like a pipe dream to me and to probably everybody else. And also, it's totally possible. It's totally possible. And I absolutely believe this is the big picture of all the things that I do and all the work that I am involved in and all the things that I co-create. Like, this is the ultimate expression of it, or result of it, is that we have a humanity that eventually comes back together and is reunited and connected with the central part of Gaia. Like, Gaia is what brings us together, the consciousness of our planet. And we are the one tribe that sits inside this womb that we call Gaia. And so how do we get there? We begin. This is the genius of Aquarius. Like, I know we can get there. How long will it take? I'm not sure, but I'm going to do all the steps possible to move us in that direction. So, backpedaling. How have I arrived at this announcement? How am I going to do it? How will I do it? Santara says, don't worry so much about the how. So let's see. I've been watching over the last week a video by Santara called Assembling a Crew of Magicians, and it's an Aquarius reading. And I watched the original a couple times because it so resonated, and then I watched the extended. And her message was this orchestration of bringing people together to a table, physically or energetically, bringing them together so that each one could contribute or share their teachings, their wisdom, the thing that they're really good at, and with not with the purpose of like selling people stuff, with the purpose of here's what I can contribute to the whole to make the whole better. WHOLE, whole. Here's what I can contribute as an individual to the collective. And so the collective is elevated because I bring this contribution to the whole. And so I was feeling into that. We have a small, very small retreat coming up that I was like, well, maybe it's about that. It feels like it is. And yet I kept thinking there's something more. There's this bigger message for me than that. So I watched that. And then yesterday I watched a new era tarot. Well, see, here's the thing. I've been going to the gym. So when I'm at the gym on the treadmill, you watch videos. Like when I'm outside running with Gaia, I don't run with my phone in front of me watching a video, but on the treadmill, what else are you going to do? And so I've been watching way more videos. And so I watched one yesterday by a new era tarot woman named Emma. I think she's in Sweden. And she was talking about, it was for Gemini, and I'll put both of these links in the description, because if you're listening to this, you have a match, or you wouldn't be listening to me share this. Because that's energy. That's how energy works. So she was talking about she had a card. It was called Not For You. And it showed like this chess set. And there was the black chess set and the white chess set. And then in the middle was this fortune cookie. And she kept saying, and then it was also a card about the fates and how the fates are pushing you away from this one path that doesn't serve you because something higher is going to be coming through, something better. And she was describing how we have this polarization, not just here in the United States. She said it's every country, and I believe her. You're either for or against, and you're either against the for or for the against. Everyone's in two camps. That's a general statement. Many people are in two camps. And so she said, what if you're the fortune cookie? You're the one on the table who has a whole different perspective, a whole different solution. And so you don't need the division because you're kind of going above, like rising above, and you see a different possibility. She kept calling it like the third option, the third way. And I was just sitting with that, like, okay, I believe that. I absolutely believe that I don't need to be in either camp or mad at either one for either camp. Like, that's just not my way. My way is very much about unification. It's about what do we have in common, not what makes us separate and divided. Like, how do we find the commonalities? Again, Aquarius, right? How do we come together? How do we see that we all come from one source and we return to one source? And so why the division in the middle? I understand it's to provide contrast and to teach us and stretch us and grow us, but what if we're coming back together? How do we do that? And so this idea of a third option just kept like sitting with me. I'm like, how do we come back into unity? How do we rise above a chess set and see the game for what it is, see the learnings, the teachings, and then bring that wisdom to a whole different conversation? And so I was journaling and writing, and then watched Santero's extended video for the Aquarius reading. And she was talking about at the table, when you're at this dinner table with this crew of magicians, what's your gem? What's your highest and best contribution that you can bring to this table? If you're a magician and everyone there with you is a magician, what's the magic you bring that most supports the crew? I was like, well, I mean, I have lots of magic. I have some really good magic. And like, as an Aquarius, like what most supports unification at this time that I could contribute to that? I'm like, it's grid building, like that community building, bringing people together into circle, bringing, like, seeing where this one and this one, when they work together, can create this. And if this one knew this one and they could do that, like, that's like one of the things I love the most. And it's also, I'm so damn good at it. Like, when people come to my house for circles, I used to do way more of them. And now I'm like, being in person is just a lot of work, and people have a lot of shit that they're trying to deal with. And I feel like, many of us need to deal with that shit kind of on our own or in therapy or healing sessions, not in some of these community spaces, I feel like we need to bring our best selves to community spaces and see what we can contribute that serves the whole. That's my general sense. I know it could change in a week. I could host a circle next month and I'll be sitting here going, well, I thought that I was done, but maybe I'm not. I just never know. Energy changes so fast, and like someone does a co-creation and then it's just a whole different energy. But anyway, I was feeling like when people come to my house for circles, one of the unique ways of experiencing a circle in my home, perhaps versus other places, is that I'm so good at feeling the energy of the individuals making up that specific circle or group. I can feel how the energy is moving between the individuals and then smooth it, like soothe it, stretch the container, invite someone in who's feeling excluded or nervous or shy, bringing the introvert in and bringing the extrovert to a place of conversation with an introvert instead of we're in two different places and we're not even able to connect. And I do that through the heart. It's like that's my genius, right? I have this big open heart, and as I talked about last week in breaking the pattern, most of the time I walk around with it wide open, and then sometimes it kind of gets a little tender, and then I go hide. And I feel like last week's the work I've been doing and the aha from last week and what has been unfolding since then has been to prepare me to open even wider, to expand the capacity of my heart space and be brave, right? Be super courageous and trust like everything that's happening is in my highest and best good, just like for everybody else. And so what are we learning from that? How do we keep expanding from that? So when I was feeling into what San was saying, like what can I offer that would be my gem to this crew of magicians? I'm like, it's the container, it's the invitation, it's the welcome when someone comes into a container I'm holding, it's the feeling of the energy and how that moves. And yeah, you can feel it. I do all of that in my energy gym, and I have loved what has been building there. And what I've also realized is that's a space people come in, learn, expand, make connections, and then they go build their other community or they move into whatever is next on their path. But that space, that community, the connection, the heart that I've been holding, when people exit from the gym, what I've heard from many of them is like, oh, like I miss that. I miss the camaraderie and the conversations and the inspiration. And also I know I'm complete with the gym time, but like, what do I do now? And so it feels like there's some sort of bridge specifically for those individuals as they transition into their own community holding. They still feel held in a community that they know and trust. But then there's not that, and there's this bigger picture, a bigger picture of how do we bring a humanity together? How do we create unification through recognizing the magic we each have, through the reflections one from another about what's your gift you contribute, what's your gift you're here to share on earth, and maybe your gift and my gift could co-create something new that we didn't know of before. Or if nothing else, we could just be good friends. We could just be good friends. That's always the bonus that the people will tell me about being at my circles or my gyms or anything I do. They're like, oh my god, I didn't know I was gonna like fall in love with all of these people and have this whole new group of friends. Yeah, like that's how I live my life, and it's what I model. And it's the magic of being a human when you just suddenly like there's that individual and you know them, I've had this happen so many times, and every time it just like delights me. Like you just know, like I have walked this human experience with you before. I know you. And like here you are. Often for me, it's here you are at my home. Like how did you find me? How did you find me? And it's like, oh, it's just such this feeling. This feeling I'm expressing to you right now is the foundation of what I'm bringing into this reunion, this experience I'm going to share with you. Like, it's to have more and more of us have that feeling of, oh, here. Where have you people been my whole life? Like, I've been looking for you. And I've been thinking about myself in the desert or the middle of nowhere, floating down a river alone. Like, you've been here the whole time. That's that's the magic and the beauty that I can feel as the Aquarius being that I am. I can feel that's what's going to be happening for people when they step into this reunion space. And going to be so good. So we need to begin, right? We need to begin. So anyway, listening to all this and feeling into it, and I'm like, how do I create a free, public, open place where people can come together and have these kinds of connections and share their gifts and be in this social networking experience? And I'm like, well, the social networking platform is Facebook. I haven't been a fan of Facebook lately. I'm like, oh, like my news feed just feels like, oh, people are so mad and they're so polarized. And like, I just hang out in my happy little Instagram world that's filled with inspiration and people celebrating. And it just feels so good. I'm like, I don't know about Facebook. But what I do know is Facebook groups offers the platform, it offers the structure, it offers the potential of a higher way of communicating and connecting. That I know. And I believe when a Facebook group is seeded with the energy that I'm bringing to this group, the potential is so pure. The potential is from the heart. The capacity is infinite. Well, it's finite because there's only so many souls in human bodies at this time on this planet. So there is a finite number. There will be a point where everyone in the Gaia tribe is counted. So there is an end point. But we have so much room between me and more coming and more coming and more coming, and this big communal reunion. So I have just this morning opened up a Facebook group that I am calling the Gaia Tribe, the Gaia Tribe Reunion. And I'm going to do the same on Instagram. And I'm opening it up. So it's starting. And what it's going to become, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. I can feel. So here's how it feels to me. I'll tell you that. It feels to me like individuals will arrive into the Facebook group space and introduce themselves. So I'll make a video and introduce who I am and why I'm here on this planet from my understanding in this moment. And then like what some of my gifts are, what the way the gems I have to share. So I know how to communicate and I know how to build community. I am very clearly aware of like my soul and the way that my soul guides my human journey. I have a big heart. I'm a great listener. I know how to connect people. Like I'm just gonna share like this is who I am, and here's how I'm showing up in the world. And then I'll put a link to my website in the comments and say if you want to learn more or you feel like there's something that you want to connect more with me about, it's here. You can go look at it. But it's not like a sales page, in the Facebook group. And then others will start to arrive and put a video or a photo or some comments or share what they're like learning, what their wisdom is, what their gifts are. And as people start coming in, someone who is like feeling energetically heavy or stuck will be scrolling through all these posts and they'll see like something about someone's eyes or a word that someone says that's like that's the word that always like lights them up, or this post of inspiration is exactly what they needed today, and like and so people start connecting. And these reunions, these mini individual reunions start happening within the collective reunion space. And we start coming together. We start holding hands with people we don't know until now, because there hasn't been a high vibrational, that's not true. There's lots of high vibrational spaces and groups. And also, there isn't one that I found when I was searching in Facebook. There isn't one that is specifically about the reunion of the Gaia tribe, bringing humanity together, simply to be together, to be reunited. I looked up the definition. A reunion is a social gathering of people coming together as a unified whole. It's open to so much potential. What are we going to do with all this? I don't know yet. Like, that's the point of co-creation. The co-creation is I show up and I bring my best magic, my best self to this table, and you do the same, and others you know and love do the same. And magnetically, we're calling all of these beautiful beings together and talking and sharing. Hold on a second. Star, there's a squirrel. Squirrel could happen, just like Star shared with us. You're in your flow, and squirrel, there's that moment of like, suddenly you're in a different direction and you're following another trail. Sometimes that's what happens when we reunite with soul friends, with soul family, with individuals we've known and loved, and who just like inspire us and light us up. Our path suddenly sometimes goes in a different direction because we're sharing, we're collaborating. It's like our family reunions. Let me give you this nugget. Our family reunions on my dad's side, you come in, you bring a lot of food, a lot of food, some games, and there's all these picnic tables set up and all different age groups. And then this is how I experienced the reunion. I literally hop from like gathering group to group and conversation to conversation, and you're trying to catch up on years of stuff, or like what someone's been doing because it's been a while since they were there. And it's a little like, it's just constant. The energy is just so much about connection, about being fully present with someone else and witnessing their journey in this moment, and remembering, honoring the journey that they've been on that has brought them to this moment. And it's so good for the heart. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And that's the feeling that I have for this new Facebook group, is that as we bring our best selves into this space and introduce ourselves and open our hearts and go, hey, you want to be my friend? you want to connect? You want to talk? We're going to start opening up new pathways in this grid that is humanity here on our planet. And the wisdom of one is going to inform the wisdom of another. And all of us elevate from that. The consciousness of the individual contributing our highest and best good elevates the consciousness of the collective. We all rise into something that we don't know yet what it's going to become. At worst, it's a social networking space that has a really high vibration, with the intention of like just seeing and honoring the best in each other and sharing the journey and enjoying the connections. That's the worst. At the best, I feel like it's going to bring us new friends. It's going to bring us new business collaboratives. We're going to get new clients, perhaps, if there are gifts that we're each sharing, or I don't even know. Like, I can't even feel. I can't articulate yet what the co-creation could become. And yeah, I guess at worst, it doesn't work. And it's just me and a few friends sitting in a Facebook group going, I love you. I love you. You're so great. You're so great. If that's the worst, that's still pretty awesome. At best, it really becomes a live, energetic flow of consciousness and connection and expansion and support as we're walking these paths of humanity together. So that is my very exciting next step. Um, the Gaia tribe, I feel like I want to take a moment to talk about that before wrapping this up. The Gaia tribe. So I've written a few books about my experience, my understanding at a soul level of how I define the Gaia tribe. Just like I'm seeding the energy of this Facebook group, there was a soul tribe that seeded the consciousness, the energy of Gaia. And in all the work that I've been doing, and the meditations and the plant medicine ceremonies and the connections with source and the flow of energy through me, over and over, the message has been like, at a soul level, that has been the tribe that I have been intimately walking with from when I was birthed as a soul. And that soul tribe that was birthed was called the Gaia tribe. And what emerged from our consciousness, from our co-creative play, was the seed of this planet. And as the planet has evolved and become what she has become, there's an expansion of what the original seed that I call the Gaia tribe. Like, the Gaia tribe was 14 of us that were birthed, that started to play with time and space and the density of matter and creating form. And then over time, Gaia is self-sustainable. She's her own consciousness, her own energy, her own creation now. And so as our assignment or intention has been fulfilled, there's a graduation, a handing over that has happened energetically, I feel, between my original soul tribe and then this planet on her own. And so I feel like there's a new definition of the Gaia tribe, bigger, way bigger than the 14 of us that originally started this idea. And the Gaia tribe to me is all souls in human bodies right now who are playing on this planet. And so in order for unification to happen, in order for us to come back to a unified whole as a humanity, I feel like touching the seed of the origin of Gaia and the origin of the Gaia tribe, the Gaia tribe that started the whole of humanity, Gaia tribe. I feel like touching the truth of the origin is essential in order for unification to happen. And so in the books that I have written, I have talked a lot about my understanding of how this all works, the structure of our energy of our planet, the structure of the universe in the way that I understand it, which may be very, very limited compared to how others understand it. But the definitions that I have shared still feels so true to me and so simple and powerful. And so I created yesterday a reading from One Day Gaia's Gifts. And it was chapter 10, which is about the creation of the crystal core of our planet, the energetic seed of Gaia, and how that happened, and what our role as the original Gaia tribe, the soul tribe that birthed the consciousness of Gaia, like how that process evolved and what it leads to now, and how each individual can be part of that. How do I say it? It's like, in order for unification to happen, each individual within all of humanity has to reconnect, in my opinion, has to reconnect to the flow of energy between source and Gaia, has to step into this like understanding of the parts that make up the whole. And so in the reading, the YouTube video I created, in the reading, I share the process of being a conduit of energy, tapping into source, bringing that energy down through the human body and the chakra system, flowing that energy down to Gaia, to the crystal core of Gaia, and then receiving that energy back up. And so creating this loop of energy that rebonds, that rewires, that reunites source, humanity, Gaia, Gaia, humanity, source. And so it's a visualization process that you can do on your own at home anytime. There is also a reading of chapter 4 that I did a little while ago, and I'll put that in the Facebook group too, and I'll put the link to both of those in the description for today's episode. In that reading, we visualize the consciousness of humanity on our planet in the year 3178. What does it feel like? What is a potential vibration of 3178? And then how do we align with that high possibility, that frequency where we are unified, where humans and Gaia and Source are absolutely intimately one, but living in human bodies on this planet. And so the meditation, the breathing meditation that is in that video, taps you into that future energy and brings it back to here, to this moment. So when I open up the Gaia Tribe reunion group, that's what is holding the foundation of that Facebook group. Those are the energies that will land in that space first and anchor in the potential of what this group could co-create together. And so it is solid and like, wow, so majestically incredible. And then in all that is so much room for us to play and to connect. So the Gaia Tribe is my original soul tribe that birthed this whole adventure. And then the Gaia Tribe, as I am claiming it for the reunion space, the Gaia Tribe is all of us, all souls in human bodies who are playing at this time on our planet. And so there's room for everyone. How do we begin? We start. We start. So I'll put a link to the invitation to join the Facebook group in the description for today's episode. If you feel the same way I do about Facebook, or you're like, I am not going to be on Facebook and I'm not going to be part of that energy, open up an account just so you can be in the group, and don't look at anything else, and don't accept any other friend requests. Just go into the group. What if you create, because you can create any reality you want, what if you create a reality where you are in Facebook and the only friends you have are the friends that you've collected in the reunion space, and like they're the best of the best you could possibly hang with, and that's who your friends are. Like, you can create any reality you want. And so I'm putting that out as a potential for you. I'm hoping there will be other platforms in the future that maybe we can merge to or add, or somehow like not always have to be on Facebook. And yet right now Facebook is the platform that most serves us. Okay, so that that is what's happening here. It's so exciting. It's so exciting. I have gym calls today, and in between that, I will be getting this podcast out, setting up the group, putting all the nuggets into the group space. And then it's open, so you can join, you can invite others you love to join, and let's see what happens. I will still be hanging out personally. Most of my sharing of my life happens on Instagram, but what I'm bringing into this space is like an introduction of myself, and then the networking, the getting to know others, the reunion aspect of it. So we'll see what it becomes. Yeah, we'll see what it becomes. All right, I hope you have a beautiful weekend, and let's see where we're at by next week in Scorpio energy. So much love.
Thank you for tuning into this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me in Viv's Energy Gym, where we are building a community of leaders in this new earth, exploring infinite embodiment, the soul aligning harmoniously with the human body and mind. You can learn more at mysouljourney.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.